All right, folks, we're starting to see a little bit of a Sunday pump. Absolutely love to see it. After we closed out the markets on Friday with oil, gold, Bitcoin, and XRP all pumping, along with XLM and XDC too. XDC was up about 7% on the day. And now we fire back up, markets opening up in Asia, warming up, pumping, and we absolutely love to see it. We're pumping through the chaos. And I think this is a reminder that these assets, the digital assets, are remaining incredibly resilient, showing strength. While in the crypto space, there's all sorts of chaos, exchanges collapsing. Carolyn Ellis is snitching on the whole FTX fiasco. It's not pretty. But on the other end, we're showing that XRP, these other digital assets, have major support. Have they been cleaned back out to 50 cents after our victory party and our ruling that we got from Judge Torres? Yes, that's very unfortunate, very sad. But when we look a little bit deeper here, we see the timeline on where we're at. What's about to unfold over the next couple years is going to be the next crypto bull run, and it's going to allow a lot of utility and institutions to pour trillions of dollars into the space. I just covered that this morning, tokenizing trillions of real-world assets on the XRP ledger. And even JP Morgan's head of DLT markets is suggesting that 10 to 50% of all these real-world financial assets are going to be tokenized on DLT technology. And the interoperability that we see with XRP distinguishes it amongst the rest of the space, the flawless ledger that's worked for 10 plus years, along with the additional amendments and utility coming to it right at a perfect time when we're set for a kind of a Cambrian explosion, a moment here in the crypto asset space. So very exciting. World War still popping off. I say that lightly, but it's not a joke. It's something that we continue to prey on. But what we see right now is the real commodities that are going to run the new system are remaining resilient, and they're actually coming into a stronger demand because of all this chaos and the crisis that is unfolding. So without further ado, let's take a look here at the markets and what I'm talking about. I'm checking on crypto right now, 27,123 for your Bitcoin, 1559 for Ethereum. Ethereum not really moving, but XRP up about 0.5%, up to 48.89, almost up to 49 cents. But Bitcoin almost pumping a total 1% today, which I understand is not much in the grand scheme of things. But you can take a look at this chart right here. A little breakout to 27.2. Love to see it rolling over right now as we speak. And we'll see what it wants to do. Market's waking up. And we're going to take a look here at oil. Here, you saw we had a big week last week for oil, starting off Monday with a pump, and then we did carry that back up to about 87 bucks. I still think that we have a long ways to go when we're talking about oil. And when you look at Brent, which is out of the UK, they're already back up to $90. So little discrepancy there, but it is pumping. Silver and gold both with big pumps last week. I mean, you can see this move for gold and silver is pretty massive to do a 9% on the week. Up about 10%, basically. Yeah, 10% on the week. Massive week for silver. And we just started another weekly candle right here. We're on the weekly chart right now. And so let's take a look at gold. Also massive. Absolutely love to see it. That is a thing of beauty right there. About 7% for gold, 10% for silver. In the middle of the chaos, these assets remaining very resilient. Let's take a look at our Bitcoin real quick. And there we are. Let's get that fib out of there. Yeah, we retrace back to the 702, essentially 26.5. And then we've bounced back up to 27. We'll be starting a new week here for Bitcoin, and we'll see where it goes. But the underlying assets of the new financial system are definitely remaining resilient. Does it mean that they can't get cleaned out a little bit lower? Yes, absolutely. But just be ready, because I don't think that these buying opportunities will last too much longer. I think we have until basically through the winter time to pick up these digital assets before we begin the next bull run by spring of summer next year. Timing the bottom's nearly an impossible task, but we know that we're near the bottom, right? We get cleaned out a little bit more. Bitcoin below 20K, okay, no big deal. XRP back below 40, back down to 30 cents, okay. Send us back down to a 3-for-1 deal for XRP. I know what I'm going to be doing. Let me know in the comments down below what you're going to be doing this fall winter time. If we get smacked again and we get Bitcoin back below 20K, we get XRP back at 33 cents. What are you going to be doing? Let me know in the comments down below. But let's get into the current events here, folks, real quick. We'll run through it. Finance lot. Clearly, the U.S. is coordinating a big event here with the FX markets. Japan, bank liquidity, treasuries, Israel moved ahead of schedule, spooking markets early. And yeah, the stocks were down. VIX was up closing on Friday. You could see it was pinned. Then they lost control. Aladdin will have to work overtime this weekend. Yeah, they're going to have to work some magic to make sure that this thing doesn't absolutely fall out. And it's a worldwide situation. A bank run has begun in China at the Bank of Kangzhou, I think. Maybe I got that right or close. On fears that the collapse of Evergrande made them insolvent. So the ripple effects still spreading out and still growing, actually. Just a couple of months ago, China's largest property developer Evergrande filed Chapter 15 bankruptcy. This week, Country Garden, another major Chinese developer, missed a debt payment. All as China's HY real estate index is down 85% from its high. China real estate, definitely in a real estate reset. Housing alone accounts for 25% of China's entire GDP. China seems to be heading for a recession. Yeah, so not good over there. Finance Law comments, though, on kind of the citizen journalist and how over the target we've been. PSYOP campaigns are failing right now in a big way. There are too many people on Twitter X watching what they're doing, and they've lost control of the narrative. This is very dangerous for the institutions who don't want us to know what's really going on. A crackdown is inevitable, and this is why, Digital Asset Investor got taken off of Twitter. I don't believe there was an accident. I believe that this was, the reason why he's not back confirms to me that we were just too over the target. DAI, Stephen Narioff, Ethereum whistleblower. I'm trying to, kind of tiptoe into Twitter now, I guess, too. We got to be careful. It's like, where can I find a safe space? Well, yeah, the only safe space I got right now is my Discord Patreon group. If you're looking to join us over there, that's at my website, zachrector.com. Feel free to join us in the private conversations that we can have over there in the safe space. Unbelievable. Mario Nafal, the Israeli ground offensive into Gaza will be delayed by a few days due to heavy rain and clouds, coming out of the New York Times. Now, Iran draws their red line in apparent historic communication, seemingly abandoning Hamas. So very interesting here is Iran says that their armed forces will not engage Israel provided it does not dare to attack Iran, its interest, or nationals. Now, they seek to go through the UN to reach out. And so this is a sign of at least conversations underway. I don't want to get too hopeful yet that we've, going to be coming to peace anytime soon. But we've kind of gotten some back and forth here from Iran saying, that they're going to be forced to intervene. And now it seems like they're kind of backing off. Hamas definitely getting helped out by, some of these countries and groups for sure. There's a lot of, speculation on where all of our money and weapons have ended up. I'm just going to keep my lips tightly kind of sealed on that, and I'll just leave it at that. Without a doubt, we are sending some heavy artillery and weapons over there. The second U.S. aircraft is heading towards the Mediterranean Sea. So the U.S. getting ready to move on in. Well, we have Mr. Putin. Mr. Putin urges the United Nations Security Council to vote for immediate Israel-Hamas humanitarian truce. How about that? And of course, Western media calling out the hypocrisy from Mr. Putin, the big bad bear over there in Russia. How dare he call for a humanitarian truce while he continues his relentless war on Ukraine? And Mr. Putin accomplishing many of his objectives with his strategic military operation in Ukraine. Looks like the United States is going to be struggling to fund these multiple battlefields, and we watch for the agents to be activated back home. That was the title of the Patreon exclusive post that I put out just a couple days ago, where I talked about this exact article right here, this exact situation that's now being admitted by the FBI director. See, I don't have to wait around for the FBI director to confirm what we already know is well underway, already planned, and will be executed here shortly. May God be with us, and stay ready to defend your family and your community, folks. Stay watchful right now. FBI director is ominously warning there is a rising number of terror threats against the U.S. and that the biggest concern involves potential lone wolves pulling off Hamas copycat attacks here. And so I said to my Patreon group, I explained it in a little bit more detail there. I'll just simply say this: whether they are agents that are activated or whether they are just folks that are pissed off because their country's being attacked over there. What we have right now is we have frustration, anger. We're in the middle of a recession. People are feeling it, the tension, right? And then when you see this war really escalating, and this war goes so deep with the psychological war, the battle underway, the beliefs entrenched so deeply on both sides, it's very hard to find that common middle ground. But here's my point. Whether the agents are, working for some nefarious, group, or whether they're just mad and upset and, they get pushed to the brink, the situation here, I got to be careful with my words. Let's just pray that it doesn't get bad. But even the FBI director is warning about the attacks happening back home. And you're already seeing the tension in the streets between the protests supporting either side, right? This is going to be a tough one for us to get out of. And it's all part of a falling empire. External chaos, internal chaos, unsustainable deficits, and debt. We are going bust. We don't have money to send to any country. We don't have money to send to anybody. Our government in our country's bankrupt. We're going to run out of Social Security funds by 2034 by most expectations. And this is an absolute setup to dismantle and destroy the middle class and the American dream. So I hope you guys are prepared. Now, of course, another U.S. congressman has traded stocks before the start of the Middle East conflict, stocks that benefit directly from the war. Representative Mark Wayne Mullen disclosed purchasing up to 50,000 of Raytheon on September 13th. He sits on the Committee of Armed Services. Now, I'm sure there's nothing nefarious going on here, and it's like these guys have no shame. The bill that's, being proposed in Congress to ban these guys and gals from stock trading and their family members from stock trading is not stopping them from still doing active trades. And so Raytheon pumping after the war started, I haven't kind of watched what has happened since. I know that it pumped like 10% the day after the war really broke out. And so, if these congressmen want to profit off the military industrial complex and the never ending wars, then that's their motive. For me, I'm not going to participate, and I'm going to continue to call out that BS, the corruption, and the basically the interests that have bought and paid for these guys, and that's why they're making the decisions that they make in doing the DC dance that we have to continue to observe here in the United States. That makes me ashamed to be an American. I really hope that we can bring accountability. Jim Jordan House floor vote for Speaker scheduled for noon on Tuesday. So we got a lot going on here back home, right? We don't even have a Speaker of the House. Looks like Jim Jordan vote going to be on Tuesday. There's a bunch of back and forth about whether or not he's going to make it. He's got to struggle. Some Rhino Republicans don't like him. I've thought that he's been decent. None of these guys really get me that excited. None of them really across the board. There's been a few where they come, they make a stand, they give 5 minutes of a speech, and then you never see them do anything, to hold anybody accountable. And so what we want accountability, and we want justice served. We don't want to do the DC dance anymore. But nonetheless, the agenda moving in full force as Chicago decides that it's time to give migrants $9,000 in rental assistance. Now, I looked at this article, and the plan, it looks like, is to give them $9,000 in rental assistance over a 6-month period to ease in their transition. But I find it hilarious because on the other side of this, we see that shelter inflation in the United States remains a major issue as it stands at 7.2%. Inflation for renters was 7.4% in September, while inflation for homeowners was 7.1%. In September, the median national rent price officially crossed the $2,000 a month for the first time ever. So they might have to up that. I don't know if that $9,000 over 6 months, that's not really going to help them out too much, especially in Chicago, right? And talk about getting any rental relief or relief in the housing. How is that going to happen when we're giving out free money stipends for new folks coming in, right? How are we ever going to get a real estate reset when we have millions of people coming in who are going to get free money to take over housing? How about that deal? Meanwhile, the median payment for homeowners is now at $2,850 a month. So how about that deal? You want to pay nearly $3,000 a month on average to be a homeowner, to live that white picket fence American dream that your grandpappy told you about. Good luck. God bless. Hope it works out. They are completely rug pulling the United States. It's an absolute mockery and a joke, and they should be ashamed of themselves for what they're doing here, but they have no shame. They know what their agenda is. They know who's cutting them their checks. And if they want their checks to continue coming, then they have to continue with this agenda, moving it forward. While many parts of inflation are down, many essential categories are not. Housing affordability is a crisis. And as we've been covering in the CPI Lie, all this data, if shelter's going up too much, just remove it from the stats. And that's what they do. That's why we got the core CPI that moves food and energy. And then the super core, which removes energy, shelter, food, everything that matters. Used car sales, remove it, right? And these are all of the data points that are well above 3%. And so this is why I say the American people are getting set up. They've been rug pulled. The Federal Reserve doesn't care. They don't care that your 401k is going to get cleaned out. They don't care that the equity in your house is going to get cleaned out. They don't care that Social Security is going to run out of funds and that the only way that they're going to be able to pay back those liabilities is by printing more dollars, destroying the value of everything that you have denominated in US dollars. And so what are you going to do about it? I know for me, I'm not just going to sit here and make a tweet. I'm not just going to make a little TikTok complaining about this or that, but I'm going to continue putting out the educational content to help you guys understand there are alternative moves to be making right now to prepare yourself to ride out this storm. Once again, the digital assets suppressed, but starting to break out, remaining resilient all through this chaos. Absolutely love to see it. What did gold and silver do? 7% for gold, about 10% for silver. Oil back up. Real commodities, real value will always have a place in our economy and in our markets, and they've been suppressed through the derivatives and the other means that these institutions have had to suppress these assets without having to have physical possession of them, right? This is just paper trading derivatives that have kept these assets suppressed. We're about to break free. This war is accelerating everything that's already underway, just like the simulation events of 2020 did. So stay locked in, stay focused, stay in prayer. Get right with somebody, whether you want to believe in God or not. I don't care what your program is. It's very simple. Are you winning or losing right now? Are we putting more money in our bank? Are we getting our bag a little bit more full? Are we getting right with our family? Are they tapped in on what is going on right now? We got to be on the same page within our family, within our business. God willing, we can save our community, and God willing, we can save this country, humanity, under the same battle as well as we fight a group, a cabal of elite central bankers who do not care about you or me. They don't care about wiping out the American people. They don't care about collateral damage in these wars. They have an agenda and they have interest and they have trillions of dollars on the line. And that's why they are willing to do what they do. So stay safe out there. May God bless all of you guys. And I will see you in the next one on the way out. Let's hit it. Let's make sure we're subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And I got more content dropping for you tomorrow morning. We'll be watching this market closely. God bless.